Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park for a Sunday edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan Ullman, along with the voice of Maryland Racing, the voice of the Preakness Stakes, the great Dave Rodman. Dave, 9-race program on tap this afternoon on the heels of a very successful Turf Festival card yesterday. Some exciting stakes action.
Yeah, love the way the Tupi came back to win to her best form in the Sensible Lady Turf Dash. And I believe you posted on X a 93 by your figure for her. What a turn of foot she has when she's right. And despite all of her quirks, she put it all together to beat Life, Love, and Laughter, who had a win streak going, and Loon Cry, last year's winner as well. Also, we had no-show Sammy Joe for a repeat win. It was a nose. I called it a half a head. Believe me, I shouldn't have called that photo. It was very, very close.
But you got it right.
At the end, yeah, I was right. But you should have seen the blood pressure between the time they crossed the wire and they posted it official. In a ground motion, running 1-2 in that race. Serona coming back to make it really, really close at the end. And had to have him. It's a clean trip. On the outside under J.J. Torrealba with Gracie May Stables and John Salzman Jr. in winning the Laurel Dash.
Salzman's have done a really nice job with Had to Have Him. They gelded him over the winter, and boy, has he really improved. That big performance on dirt, good effort after good effort on turf, and finally getting the stakes victory, staying outside and in the clear in a race where there was some traffic issues for some others.
Yeah, live high, live low, tried to get through on the inside, a brave move there to try to get through on the inside, but the opening didn't quite develop. Could she have beaten Had to Have Him? I'm not sure, but probably could have been a little bit closer. And I thought a big race too from Fierce and Strong as well, despite a little trouble around the turn coming back. Only beaten ahead for second. Arguably could have been right there with Had to Have Him. So I'm sure we'll see these guys together again on the turf somewhere.
Had to Have Him likely to be back in the Maryland Million Turf Sprint. It was a race where he finished third last year, and you can make the argument he is a lot better right now. The weather has been beautiful. The string of beautiful days continues. Our main track is fast. The turf is firm. The weather is clear. The temperature is 77 degrees. It's a really pleasant day at Laurel Park, and we've got some great events coming up in the near future. Cigars on the Rail is coming up next week, Saturday, September the 20th, between noon and 5 p.m. It's presented by WBAL News Radio. Enjoy some great cigars, some fun, good food, good drinks, great action. I believe we have the Weather Vane Stakes on tap as well.
Yeah, you'll get a close-up view of all the action there. The Cigars on the Rail, that's Saturday, and I hear tickets are going really fast to that. So if you're into cigars, you know, Pink Floyd told me, have a cigar, you're going to go far. So sign up.
No, it should be a great event. We're not just blowing smoke. The handicapping tournament is also coming up. The Autumn Handicapping Challenge. $500 buy-in. It's a live money contest. $250 entry fee. $250 bankroll. Not only are there going to be great cash prizes to the top finishers, but also 2 seats to the National Handicapping Championship and 1 full seat to the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge, the 2 most prestigious handicapping tournaments in the world. We had a really great event in the spring. It's a hybrid contest. You can play online. You can also play right here at Laurel Park.
Yeah, it's many ways to play. We'd love to have you here at Laurel Park, and I know a lot of fans of those handicapping contests. Very, very happy that we brought them back this year. So only going to build on that spring momentum with our Autumn Handicapping Challenge.
Let's start things off with race number 1 on our 9-race card on this beautiful Sunday at Laurel Park. We're going 6 furlongs on the turf. It's a starter optional claimer for fillies and mares. Let's take out the 7. Air 1. This is the first leg of the first of 2 value pick 5 wagers. We call it the value pick 5 because it's the best value in the business. A low 12% takeout. Dave, you've got a ticket today. A little extra pressure because both Keith Fustel and Mackenzie Pfeiffer's tickets hit yesterday.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, we'll see if we can carry the momentum. I thought it was a tough sequence, and I know Keith hit that early one with a single right on with Mo Missile, I believe it was.
That's right.
I have no Mo Missile today, but I had to single someone without blowing up the ticket, and that comes in the third race with Garage Beers. We'll touch more on that horse with some video in a bit, spreading on the bookends there in the opener and the closing race of the pick 5 sequence, 3, 4, 6, 8. With 2 deep in the second, 5, 7. There's my single in the third, and then 3, 6, and fifth race. Yeah, we'll talk about that. You might even add a horse in there too. 1, 4, 10.
But an affordable ticket to be sure. You can add a horse or two. $24 for the 50-cent minimum wager. The first of two, 12% low takeout value pick 5. Let's start things off with our top selection in race number 1. We have a video spotlight on the number 8, She's No Uncle, seeking a hat trick for Jamie Ness.
Your pick, my pick, looking for 3 in a row, and I like the improving pattern on this filly. Since the claim, a fourth, a win and a win, but each a little bit faster. She's had great tactical early speed. This is a win from Colonial Downs, most recent, August the 20th. A steady drive, but holding sway. Nobody really getting after her. She didn't gallop out like 10 or 11 in front, but she kept going nicely. And I think with the improvement pattern, the up the ladder improvement pattern, she's the one to beat in there.
There is some speed in this race, though, other than She's No Uncle, and maybe that's a little bit concerning because her best races have come up front, but I do think this outside post position gives Carlos Lopez plenty of options. She's No Uncle is going to be forwardly placed, whether she's on the lead or stalking outside. She'll be right there when they turn into the long stretch. We both have the 6. I Think I Love You, the morning line favorite, in second. This horse was pressing the pace last time out in the first start following the Farrier claim. Another horse that can be close. Toledo had the choice. Biscuit with the Boss, I Think I Love You, lands here.
Comes off a best race off the claim, but I Think I Love You did not show, did show speed, but formerly kind of a filly who really wants to go. I think she's able to settle a little bit on the chase today. A battle between these two on or near the pace, so we'll see which one will survive. But if they don't, how about Wise and Elegant coming into the picture into play late? Races here at Laurel last year, September, October, coming around this time of year to some of her best. It is first race after the layoff, the second race after the layoff since May, and had trouble in that race at Colonial. Broke in, no factor, draw a line through that race, and with a good setup, she's good enough to win.
I agree. She's getting a little bit of class relief. Her last race is an utter throwout because of the poor start. If there's pace, she's going to be rallying along with Sweeter Than Whiskey, a horse that's run well, second off the layoff in the past. Most notably, a runner-up effort going 5.5, 2 starts back in a first-level allowance race. Sweeter Than Whiskey, I think, is a horse at a price that maybe you could sneak into the bottom of your number.
And, leave out Brittany Russell Barn at your own peril there. Biscuit with the Boss with Michael Sanchez. This is second time Lasix for Biscuit with the Boss. Has won over this course and has a third place finish over this course. So certainly fits a horse who, she's been on the lead before, but I think with all that speed in there in front of her, she's probably not going to make the lead in this spot. Her best hope is to get a trip.
Jamie Ness has had some success on turf already this meet at Laurel Park's. Going to go for another one with the 8, She's No Uncle, our top pick. 8-6-4-3 for Dave, 8-6-5-4 for me. Race number 2, 5.5 furlongs on the main track. It's a claiming race, 3 and up, which have never won 3 or 3-year-olds, 12-5 down to 10. This field stays intact. It is the first of 3 50-cent minimum pick 4 wagers. We have early, middle, and late on 9 race cards. And in this race, Dave, you're going to go with the number 7, Kissling, and we have a video spotlight to show with Kissling.
Okay, this race at Timonium, but don't throw a negative into that because Kissling likes Laurel and does some of the best running at Laurel. This was a gate-to-wire score, taking no prisoners, and good fractions there. The opening quarter, 22-4, and Kissling never stops. That was a gift price that day at 5-2 on Kissling, soundly defeating a little bit risky one of the rivals that he will again face today. But I've seen this guy come from off the pace over this track, so I think he's got one more than one dimension to him. He does not really a standout really on numbers, but I think he's in form right now.
Kieran's got him in razor sharp form. form right now, seeking his 4th consecutive victory this afternoon, and I think tactical enough to work out a trip. I don't really think this pace is going to be blazing up front. Uni Winner is the number 2, and that's my top selection. I wonder if Uni Winner is just racing himself back into his best form. This is going to be his 3rd start off of the layoff for Lacey Gaudette, and you'll note that he won his 3rd lifetime start, and then he won 3rd off of the layoff last year back on December 20th, so the pattern seems to work well for him, and he ran fine at Colonial last time out. He tried really hard. He was 2nd best to an odds-on winner, bumped a little bit at the start, got up close to the pace. I just have a feeling if he could run back to that last number at least at Colonial, he's a factor.
That was a strong race, numbers-wise. Always concerned about this guy. He's had gaps between his races, but certainly his best race was his last. The raw time was 1:10 and 3/5. I didn't believe it, Dan. Had to go back and time the race. It was 1:10 and change there at Colonial on a rattling fast track. You know, I don't know if he can repeat that, but certainly sitting right off the pace with a good trip like I had last time out. He's like slowly chugs along to gain ground late. That's his style. Uni Winner, your top pick.
I think Win No Joke, a horse that we both have in here, the number 5, is a horse that got a nice fitness builder last time out for Troy Singh. It was the first start off of a long layoff. They ran him 2 turns at Timonium. He pushed the pace. He tired. I think we're going to see him back here on a more conventional track, a lot sharper in his 2nd start of the form cycle. And look at the races that to end the year last year at Laurel. 3 seconds, 1 win in his last 4 main track starts here.
Yeah, I may have overlooked him. He does like to follow horses home a little bit of a concern. He has placed 8 times from 28 starts. The 2nd back after the layoff, though, certainly very, very strong. And he caught 2 in-form horses at the time back in the winter, Cyber Time, and Sarah's Candy Camp on that muddy strip back in December.
You got Big Ton 10 in here, first time gelding, moving turf to dirt, 2nd off the claim. There are a lot of angles for Big Ton 10, and the last time we saw him on dirt was at Colonial, and he just got wired that day after breaking poorly. I think with a better break, he can stay close to the pace. The runner-up of that race, 2 starts back, did come back to hit the board in his next 3 starts. 76 Beyer top from those 3 races. Toledo had the choice of Big Ton 10 and Kissling. Lance here.
Best number at the Mountain.
Stormy Hollow.
And first time gelding, that's the question. Throw out the turf race, right? He's back to the dirt, and first time gelding as well. He fits in here. A lot of people will kind of overlook him maybe because of the 17 length beaten on the turf line.
Kissling looking for his 4th consecutive victory. That's Dave's top selection in here. I'm hoping Uni Winner continues the good work, going 3rd off of the layoff. 7-2-4-1 for Dave, 2-5-7-4 for me in race number 2. Race number 3 is at 5.5 furlongs on the turf. This is a maiden special weight for 2-year-olds. We've got a field of 8 in here. It is the first leg of our middle pick 4 with a 50-cent minimum wager. Now this is a wide open race for these 2-year-olds, many of them trying turf for the first time. You like the 6 Garage Beers in here, and we do have a video spotlight.
Yeah, it kind of caught my eye at Timonium. Let's take a look at the start. A hopped at the start, little hop there. We're going to show you a couple of times, and keep your eye on them, maybe the upper portion of the screen, because it's kind of hard to see, but through the binoculars you can see it clearly when calling the race. Kind of a little bit of high-headed action there. There's the start again, a little bit of a hop, and again upper right portion of the screen there. Maybe not as pronounced on the video as it looked to me, but he's stretching out to 2 turns. After that, when he was quickly out sprinted heading for the Ferris Allen wheel at Timonium, really got into gear in that stretch at Timonium to finish off well, and a good gallop out as well. And we are on the turf, and there is, let me show you the gallop out too if we can. There he is, doing okay, right? Still
Very
going
nice.
strong, yeah. So this extra distance and the turf is going to help him, especially pedigree-wise. Mendelssohn out of Split It, sibling Alabriva, 6 winning turf runner we saw yesterday.
Turf sprinter, yes. So this horse has a lot of angles going for him. Anthony Farrier trains. Farrier, I believe, had 2 winners on yesterday's card. I'm going to take a little bit of a flyer with the number 7 Rudio Bus. We have a trainer's stat for Aaron McClellan. Experienced runners, first time on the turf, 6 for the last 24, 25%, a big return on investment, $7.88. This horse took a little bit of money for his career debut. He got wired that day by a runaway favorite. I don't love the practical jokes on the turf usually, but this dam did win on the turf. The second dam was stakes placed on synthetic. So I'm hoping that with the experience in tow, Rudy O'Bus is a little bit more focused second time out.
Yeah, I certainly can see that horse off of his first race at Penn National. His dam was a winner going long on the grass. So there's some grass there. I said that yesterday about, what was the Trombetta horse, Crystal?
Yeah, the first time starter.
Yeah,
very,
it was
very
related
impressive,
to the stakes winner going long in the grass, and probably wants to go long. Yeah, wants to go long, but also wanted to go short. Big win, that first time starter from the Trombetta barn. So yeah, just because the dam one going long doesn't mean the offspring have to go long on the grass.
Pedigree is such a tough puzzle to figure out. Hop on Top, though, has pedigree, switching to turf, the number 2. This is a full to Fierce and Strong. Multiple stakes winning turf horse. We saw Fierce and Strong. I would expect Hop on Top, another Anthony Farrier trained runner who debuted at Timonium, to run well on this surface.
Yeah, I like this horse and debut at Timonium on the dirt, though better turf breeding, full brother to Fierce and Strong. Third arguably could have been second yesterday. It was at the Laurel Dash, right? So there's your pedigree angle on that horse. And both my picks there, the 6 and the 2, trained by Anthony Farrier. You're looking up stats on Farrier on the turf. You know, they're not going to dazzle you, but in the last year or so, he's gotten a little bit better younger stock, right, on the turf. And he's only had a few turf 2-year-old starters. And a lot of them were 30 and 40 to 1. So these two horses really figure, especially pedigree-wise. Garage Beers, Hop on Top.
The number 5 is Parks, for a barn that does very well on the turf. Suzanne Statinius with a big winner. Oh, what a night for Keith Fustel. I believe his value play yesterday. We have a trainer stat for Suzanne with the number 5 Parks. This barn was going well into a What a Night's race. Between July 31st and September the 7th, they were 5 for 14 with a 781 ROI. The ROI continues to grow, and this horse is really bred for turf. The dam was a stakes place turf router. The second dam was a multiple stakes winning turf router. It looks like this horse has been working in fine fashion for this debut. I wouldn't sleep on Parks.
Yeah, this is a race where you really have to put your mind into extra gear with all the angles here. And the 2-year-olds on the grass sprinting, many with only 1 race experience, some with none.
Forget the Rules is a first-time starter going out for Tim Keefe, and we have a trainer stat for Tim. This barn's been doing well recently with first-time starters. 3 for the last 11, 27%, a $6 return on investment. A half-brother to Mending Fences, who was stakes place routing on the dirt, but the dam's a half to Rocket Heat, who was a grade 3 winning turf sprinter. So there is a little bit of precocity and speed on the bottom of this pedigree. Gonna have to get away well from the rail.
Boy, I singled Garage Beers. You're making me scared now.
We're not done yet, I don't think. We got to talk about so we got to talk about Flatter Me Dad as well, the number 3, a horse that a little bit interesting off the debut at Timonium, finishing 3rd, is going to be a big price.
Yeah, finished well in that race. Also very strong gallop out in the Moe's Smokin' race. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of good angles there, especially that gallop out of Timonium.
But Dave's going to stick with Garage Beers. We saw that trip in the debut, a good learning debut, and the way he finished and galloped out makes us think he's going to improve. 6-2, 3 and 7. Rudy O'Bus, second time out, first turf for me. 7-5, 1-6 in race number 3. Race number 4 going 5.5 furlongs. This is a claiming race for fillies and mares 3 and up, which have never won 3 or 3-year-olds. 12-5 down to 10. Take out the 5, Just the Thing. It's the first leg of our 20-cent Chesapeake Pick 6 jackpot wager. Pick the first place finisher in each of the final 6 races. If you are the only one to do so, you get the entire pot. We've got a carryover of over $4,000 into today's Chesapeake Pick 6. Let's talk about your top pick in here, Dave. That's the 3 Curlin' Rod. We've got a video spotlight.
Curlin' Rod off of a good race at Timonium, and she returns to the scene of her maiden breaking score at Laurel Park here last year as a 2-year-old. So we know she likes this track. Half-mile races at Timonium, very quick. You got to have zip. Got a score there at the Big T, and then there's Curlin' Rod rolling, rock and rolling along for second. So the extra distance going to help her. Jose Corrales train, Andres Chavez with a mount. That's been a good combo. Don't overlook that combination overall. But in dirt sprints, they have a positive return on investment, very strong. $2.81, 25% win clip, 13 of 52. That's my little stat there on Corrales and Chavez. We didn't have time to get that in, but the fact that she likes Laurel off of strong efforts at Timonium.
Let's talk about the 8 Antonacci girls. My top selection in here for Anthony Farrier, trainer stat for Farrier coming up. Last out winner is back on dirt. This stat actually improved because I think the winner of the last race yesterday was a last out winner back on dirt. He was 11 for the last 31. It's improved 35%, a 222 ROI. I'm a wonder about Antonacci girl, though, at this shorter distance in a race without much pace. She looked good last time out at Timonium going the 2-turn 6.5. At 5.5, I am worried because she doesn't have a lot of early speed and is kind of a grinder that maybe she'll be a little bit too far back. She is in good form. I think there is some upside potential, but I wouldn't take any less than that 3-1 on the morning line.
Same here. I mean, the thing that concerns me is she had like a trip of trips last time out with a good ride, saved ground right off the pace, got through with a rail bit at the big T at the top of the lane, went about business to win by a length and a half. Can she get that same kind of trip today? Going to have to drop over, and time runs out by the time you hit the far turn. It's not the 2-turn 6.5. This is 5.5, 1 turn there at Laurel Park. Coming off of a perfect trip, perhaps a horse I think will be there, but certainly a bit beatable today.
Conversely, Odd Day might not have cared for that Timonium 6.5 going 2 turns last time out, and her races going the conventional 5.5, 6 furlongs on the main track have been pretty good. She was in against a tough one 2 starts back, Gilda's Girl.
I've been chasing Odd Day for a long, long time since the claim. Just hasn't quite put it together. Ran a good one behind Warriors Defense at Penn National, and always kind of almost there. But again, you're right. Back to Laurel. Back to Laurel. Likes Laurel. Done the best running here. Not that far out of it. She did run in the Antonacci girl race. Was beaten. But again, maybe that was the big T. This is Laurel, her preferred track.
The 7 is Another Hope, the 2-1 morning line favorite. You talked about Antonacci girl getting a perfect trip last time out to win. I thought Another Hope got a very nice trip, getting a split in between horses on the turn, altered course inside the drifting pace setter, and then drove on through to beat a couple of next out winners for trainer Jerry Robb.
Right. Both the second and third place finishers have come back to win. Rubber stamping maybe that 1:10.4 time was legit. I'm still a little bit worried about the quick dirt surface at Colonial coming back here to Laurel a little bit deeper, I think.
I like Farrier, Jerry Robb, good numbers. Last out winners returning on dirt, 21% recently with a $3.21 return on investment. Curlin Rod, the number 3 for the Rod Dog, 3, 6, 8, and 2. I'm going to go 8, 7, 6, and 3. Antonacci girl on top. 4 down, 5 to go. When we come back, we'll kick off our analysis of the late value pick 5. Welcome back to Today at the Races. I'm Dan, he's Dave. 4 down, 5 to go. Let's take a look at the field for race number 5. 5.5 furlongs on the Fort Marcy turf course. Starter optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up. Take out the MTO Lou's birthday. Take out the AEs. The 12 down to 15. This is the first leg of our second value pick 5 of the afternoon with a low 12% takeout. Please take advantage of this great low takeout wager. It's really one of the best bets in racing. So better friendly. And it was better friendly to follow Mackenzie Pfeiffer's late pick 5 ticket yesterday because Mackenzie got the job done, and she's going to try it again. $45 ticket.
Yeah, this just shows you really kind of how wide open this race is. A 1, 3, and 9 for Mackenzie to start this, and I'm looking at our selections. I don't know. We don't have 3 in there anywhere. and this is really—
I do now.
You do now. 1, 3, 9 with 3, 7, 3, 10, 11. 8th race going to single a horse I'm really afraid of in there. That inside draw, Duke of Gloucester, and then in the 9th race, spreading a bit there. A lot with 5 horses out of 9 for the Fort Marcy Turf Mile in the 16th closing run.
$45 ticket for Back, who hit yesterday. 12% takeout, 50-cent minimum wager. Great Artist, the number 10's your top pick in race number 5. Dave, we have a video spotlight on Great Artist.
All right, I'm going to go way back to June for this. Side of the maiden breaking scene here at Laurel Park for maiden 20, going 2 turns. Great Artist stepping up to the turf with an improved race off the first run where he was beaten by Agent Kelly. Here he is, and my comment was good stamina kick. Like, he just had that stamina to go 2 turns, mile and a 16th. Then they tried to get him on the turf at Delaware, rained off. I'll admit, the Delaware races, mile and 77.5, a bit disappointing, but he's coming back to Laurel, and he's shortening up here for trainer Philip Capuano, Great Artist. Maybe throwing back to that race here at Laurel on June the 7th. That's good enough to get him over the top. But, you know, really got to count on that to happen. And there's a lot of other ways to go in here, including your top pick. I think I kind of overlooked TikTok Daddy.
TikTok Daddy, you'll know him in the paddock. He runs in his usual cheek pieces. I thought he ran pretty well on the turf. 2 starts back. He made a 3-wide bid into the turn and just kind of grinded along evenly. But that was a good field. The 6th finisher came out of that race, won 2 out of the next 3 starts with a 74 Beyer top. TikTok Daddy got washed off last time out at Delaware, but ran pretty well. First off the Hassan Alam reclaim. This barn generally does well with turf sprinters, and I think TikTok Daddy can stay close to what could be a moderate pace.
And the corrected pedigree we both have in the mix. He draws his perfect post draw, post 1. He's done some of his best running by settling off the lead, saving ground, opening develops, and kicks through. His best race, certainly good enough to win, comes off of a top effort at Penn National, coming back to Laurel, where he's got a good, consistent in-the-money record. Wouldn't rule him out. He's going to be a short price.
His tactical speed really puts him in good stead here, because he could lead her, as you mentioned, sit that perfect pocket trip. And I think Gina Perry sent out a big winner on turf earlier this meet. Wasn't it Big Daddy's Boy or something? Paid her
Big Daddy's
gigantic
Boy,
price.
right.
So the barn's going well. Corrected pedigree speed puts that horse in good stead. Let's talk about Agent Kelly, the number 4, your second selection in here.
Yeah, he beat a Great Artist, right? First time out, but Great Artist probably had a bit of an excuse in that race, needed it, came back, and redeemed himself off of that race. But he's got good effort at Laurel, back behind Watch Our World in June. Since then, he's ventured out of town over the summer, coming back for Sharp Barn. He certainly is kind of like a corrected pedigree. He'll be kicking in late, and with a good trip, if he can get through or save some ground or just kind of surge past them on the outside, is Mario Villalobos very impressed with his rides on the grass.
Great Artist is going to be Dave's top selection, cutting back in distance, the number 10, TikTok Daddy, the 9. Hoping to get the jump on those closers, turning into the stretch from just off the pace. 10-4-1-6 for Dave, 9-10-1-6 for me in race number 5. Let's move on to the 6th race of our 9-race program. We're going a 1-turn mile, maiden claimer, 3 and up, 25 down to 20. Maryland breds eligible for the 30, full field of 9. It is the Jackpot Super High 5 race. We have a carryover buildings, $1,325 in the Jackpot Super High 5. It's also the first leg of our late 50-cent minimum wager pick 4, and it's really a wide open race. I thought, Dave, I think you can go so many different ways in here. You're going to land on the number 1, Ataturk. We have a video spotlight for this one.
Here's a new face in the crowd from New York, transferring now to Horacio de Paz's barn. We'll show you this a couple of times. Ataturk. A short comment, 2-path turns, 3-path quarter, no rally. But take a look at him. He kind of like bumped around there with an awkward start. And I watch him a little bit later on. I think we're going to follow through here. Kind of takes back a little bit. Not the best open there, right there. Not the best opening furlong for Ataturk. And that was turf. This is dirt. I understand it's 2 turfs to dirt. New trainer, new scene, but I don't really love anything else in this race. So I'm coming with a new face in the crowd. And the winner of the race, Iron Man, was like 1-4. Right? Been on a streak up in New York.
This horse seems well spotted, as you mentioned. Horacio de Paz, past 5 years, turf to dirt, maiden claimers, a 32% win percentage, a $2.77 ROI. And Ataturk will be racing on dirt for the first time. Does have a little bit of dirt pedigree, a half-brother to a horse named Blue Strike, who is stakes place routing on the dirt. Best Buyer speed figure of 75. I'm just going to take a chance with Artist Mark here. This horse dropped into a maiden claimer at Timonium and is now going to stretch out a half mile, which makes me think this horse is going to show a little bit more positional speed. I thought this horse is run against some decent company, against special weights, 2 back, 4 back at Delaware and Laurel, respectively. Again, I'm just hoping maybe that we can see a little bit more improvement at this reduced class level.
Yeah, I mean, dropped in for the maiden 16 at Timonium. There's no way he's fast enough to keep up. He was favored, though, but Beachmont basically control that day, half-mile race over, a little extra distance, a lot of extra distance today, going a mile, will certainly help him. That race back in June at Laurel when he was 3rd behind Pediatrician, who won by 6, was very, very strong. The runner-up of that race, Drill Baby, came back to rubber stamp that top effort by Pediatrician, so that race puts him over the top with a good run.
Tell us a little bit about the 8. Pump It Up, your third place pick in here. Pump It Up, dropping from maiden special and maiden claimer, biggest drop in the game.
Went back and looked at his race at Presque Isle Downs on the synthetic. Kind of got some awkward head action, so maybe that's the reason they added the blinkers to get him concentrate last time out at Parks, but he did no running at Parks that day, dropping in for the tag though. Let's see what he does with the blinkers on at Laurel for the first time. I just think he was just a bit outkicked that day by the fractions, and this stretching out to the mile, he's not going to have to work hustle with those blinkers on. He could be a little closer to any tempo up front.
Give Tell 'em I'm Coming, the number 6, some pace. He'll come with a late run. The problem is he's 0 for 25 lifetime. And underneath play?
Yeah, he kind of causes his own troubles, right? Slow start, stumble, hopped at the gate, and he's got very little, well, 0 early speed. He's a plodder.
I can see Pico Platt improving, though, second off of the Farrier Claim, taking a little bit of a drop after being in for 30 in the first start for the barn at Colonial. Showed big speed 2 starts back, kind of runaway speed when the beaten favorite that day. Might relax a little better here.
Yeah, other Farrier in the race is Task Force, claimed. Then they ran him at Pimlico in a very quick race won by Varney. He never lifted a hoof that day, but he's been freshened up and drops in after all the time away. So a lot of angles here. I decided to go ahead with the out-of-town stranger coming in, new barn for Horacio de Paz. And some trouble in that turf race
certainly
that maybe people didn't see.
And the positive trainer stat that Keith sent in. So Ataturk 6-1 on the morning line, your top pick, 1786. Going with Artist Mark. It's kind of a spread race for me. 7, 6, 3, and 9 in race number 6. Race number 7, mile and a 16th on the Kelso turf course. Maryland Bredder's sired allowance race. Let's take out the MTOs, the 1, the 2, and the 7. Let's also scratch the number 12, Coronova, Coringa. The number 10 is even money on the morning line. Coringa's been the beaten favorite in the last 3 races. We do have a trainer stat, however, for Coringa. Michael Trombetta's just been going great guns recently between August 30th, September the 10th, 31%, a $2.18 ROI.
I think that Coronova out of the race is probably going to help Coringa's chances a little bit. The more I look at it now, right? I thought that Coringa would show some early foot. Coronova had no option but to go on the outside, and without that runner in the race, Coringa has a little better pace scenario for him today. But you look at his record too, and even though his numbers are good, 7 placings there from 12 starts.
I'm going to take a chance with the 11 Gray Big Z, who finally put it all together last time out at Delaware Park, albeit with a really nice trip. He settled in mid-pack. He was able to angle inside to save ground on the backstretch, sat behind a 3-ply base stool at the quarter pole, eased out and got the job done. He's a really big, strong gelding. I wonder if it's just taken him time to grow into that big body. He figured it out last time out. He's going to have to do better in this tougher spot, but he's a big price on the morning line. And I look back at some of his other turf races that they've shown some promise.
Yeah, I agree with that. And very afraid of him. I just don't know where that race came from. Delaware Park last time out. But again, if it gets a little crazy up front, he's kind of like a horse that'll be grinding and closing very late. Crab Daddy
Yes.
is an interesting horse I threw in the mix. Comes off a decent race in the crowd pleaser at Penn National, right? I mean, the number was decent. He had trouble in the two non-winners at 2 allowance at Colonial Downs. He turned out like he was going to be, looked like he was going to be a great sprinter on the dirt, but he's shown a bit of ability, especially last race on the grass for trainer Linda Albert, and will be a square price, probably 12 to 1 or maybe more by the time they get to the gate. What happens if everything kind of falls apart in the last eighth of a mile?
Nothing but blue sky, I think, comes with a run, doesn't he?
One of the candidates, the last sip,
Sure.
right? The Oh What a Night of today, Suzanne
Could be.
Stettinius. And another horse that really is a little bit below par in numbers that I've always kind of been a fan of, and it seems like he's improved a little bit lately, is Zevon, who's 20 to 1 with Daniel Hodgson aboard. So if that
Coming
big
up-
price lights up the board, you'll be
Yeah.
going, ooh.
Coming off of a big
Werewolves of
effort
London.
last time out, little Werewolves of
Yeah.
London if Zevon wins. Juniper Juice, the filly taking on the boys, is my second pick in here. She has faced males, and she's run well before. Third against them in the seasonal debut, and in against Life, Love, and Laughter last time out, just in a slow-paced race where she tried to make up ground against that horse. It wasn't going to work out. I know she's a filly against the boys, but Life, Love, and Laughter is a really good horse who ran very well yesterday. I have a feeling that Juniper Juice fits with this group, and with her tactical speed, she is not pace dependent.
Well, if you trust Coringa, right, even money, go for it. I mean, but other than that, the race appears to be a little bit of a spread race.
Dave trusts Coringa, 10, 6, 3, and 4. I'm going to take a chance with Gray Bigsy, 11, 8, 10, and 3 for me in race number 7. Late daily double time, beginning with race number 8, a mile and a 16th on the main track. Optional allowance claimer, $56,000 is the purse. We have a field of 6 in here. We'll start things off with our top selection, the number 5, Hit the Road, Jack.
Yeah,
Let's watch a video.
Your selection, my
Oh,
selection.
my selection, yes.
Both selections there. Hit the Road, Jack, freshened, I think, and ready off since May at Delaware with a 22 length defeat, but we're going back to wind the clock up to, believe this is the Manfuso, correct?
right.
Back December 21st? No. Where
This
are
is
we?
the big win, 3
March
back.
21st, 3 back. 3 back. We beat Assume Nothing and Crossland with a big 93 buyer figure, the same buyer figure. That's where I got the Manfuso that he ran in the Manfuso back at Laurel Park at a mile and a 16th. He's fresh. He's ready. I think he's got great tactical early speed. He's not far drawn out with a mile and a 16th first turn run. Secret Zipper is going to try to show early zip. I don't know. Goodbye Note has some early speed, but I think he might try to roll from off of it today. I think they're going to place him forwardly today, and we'll see. It's a little bit better, I think, at that one-turn mile, but a mile and a 16th, I don't think out of his range.
No, I don't think so as well. That last race to me is just an utter throwout where he got cooked in a speed duel where the speeds just wound up nowhere, and Hit the Road Jack just couldn't go 22 and 1, 45 and 2 against those two horses, the horses that came back to win, the runner-up winning with a 90 buyer speed figure up at Monmouth against 2 next out winners, again 2 starts back in that one-turn mile against Wild Vine, who we know is a stakes quality horse on his best day. I'm with you. I think Hit the Road Jack's going to trip out in here. Let's talk about Goodbye Note.
Yeah, he's off, he's on. I can't really kind of put my thumb on when he's going to run his best race. I don't believe he'll be up front today. I think his best chance is to settle right off of it, save a little something. He's certainly a danger with his best race, 17 to 1 on a muddy track against Search Engine. Almost pulled it off with early speed, but he's come from slightly out of it before. So you can see way back he came from well out of it when beating Parkerness at Timonium. I just can't pin down his running style, his running pattern. But I do know that number 1, Duke of Gloucester, I know Mackenzie likes, I believe, the single, right?
Yep.
In the late pick 5 is the horse who's coming into the race in super form. 4th to Awfully Cool is in solid form right now at Parks in a stake there. Two races back, double digit drawing away win in a good early, final time, and I think has enough zip, maybe to try to make the lead with that rail today and contest Secret Zipper. I'm hoping hit the road jack, settles right off of them.
If Duke of Gloucester doesn't make the lead, he's going to get a good trip from the rail.
He's going to get a good trip anyway, or he doesn't have to have the lead.
And Duke of Gloucester's getting Lasix once again after that stakes try. He's only won his last 2 starts with Lasix by a combined 17 and a half lengths or something like that, 17 and a quarter lengths. I just want to touch upon Crossland, the number 6, real quick, because if this pace does get hot, Crossland is the kind of horse that I think can rally from out of it. Last time out got wired in a very slow-paced race at Colonial by a Saratoga shipper. I think this time around just take him back and make one run.
Yeah, that's his best hope. I think the pace will be legit, but I just don't believe it's going to be cooking in here. So I just didn't put him on the ticket for that reason. Good feature race here. $56,000 purse at a mile and a 16th. I wish I knew which goodbye note would show up today. Maybe they put a little note in your program like, yes, today.
We'll know after the race, unfortunately. That's the problem.
Right. I mean that's kind of the key to me is whether you use them or you don't use them.
Well, Hit the Road Jack does run well, fresh. We know that one off a similar layoff for the Big T last year. Works looking good. We'll go with them. 5-2-1-3 for Dave, 5-1-6-2 for me. Race number 9 is our final race of the afternoon and of the week. Mile and a 16th on the turf. Fort Marcy Turf Course, maiden claimer. Claiming price 25 down to 20 with the Maryland breds eligible for the 30. Full field of 9 in here. Dave, let's talk about basic miles. Your top selection in here. We have a video spotlight.
Yeah, they've had blinkers before. Blinkers going back on today. We'll take a look at him from post 1, 2 races back. Take a look at the race. I mean, he broke sharp. He was right there, Dan. Then they just kind of eased him back. And then he winds up second last or third last, second last right now in that opening furlong going into the turn. So he was given a bit to do. Could he have been closer, stayed closer? I don't know, but he did come with a mild kind of finish late in the stretch. He was showing interest in splitting horses. I love that. When they come through between horses to show interest and run on. And there he is. He did get up for third. Had he been a little bit closer, could he have been right there with the leaders? I don't know. But the blinker's going back on. Maybe that's his problem. He's trying to get his concentration back, get a little bit more into the game early. At 6-1, he's a really good play, I think, today.
Listen, when they put blinkers on him in the past, he showed way more early speed. So maybe with his maturity now, he can sit in a closer position without being speed crazy and come with a run. I think that's a good pickup.
Discounting
number 7 basic miles.
And discounting the last race first off, a little time away. That was a soft turf at Delaware. Got some good ground today, firm ground.
Kitty's Son is where I'm going to go in here. I didn't think this horse had a clean trip last time out at Colonial. I had him in between horses, dropped down to the inside in mid-pack on the second turn, and that was checked very hard and tight on the rail. Eventually got up for third. I think this horse is okay on the turf. I realize the lifetime record is nothing to get excited about, 0 for 17, but maybe he's a new horse on turf. He's only had 5 tries on it. I'd like to see him get a little closer to the pace.
Yeah, his best race was on an off track, but this is on the turf, and he didn't run bad last time out. I just can't figure. He's going to be a little far back for me. I'd say use him second.
Bridie should at least be closer to the pace. That's where he was last time out. And maybe Bridie made the lead a little bit too soon last time out. He got tired at the end of that mile and an 8th race. I think this shorter distance suits.
He's got a pattern to me of kind of becoming a chaser. Always runs his best race. If they run the mile in a minute 35 and 3, he'll run the mile in 1:35 and 4. If they run the mile in 1:37, he'll run 1:37 and 1. Is what I'm trying to say. He just kind of follows horses home, and kind of not my liking for a horse, but his best races are kind of even in the late stages, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yep.
I don't want to completely sleep on Dat's Tap. I thought the race on Colonial Turf 3 starts back was somewhat promising. A good trip for the most most part, saving ground in the pocket, but was chasing a fast pace. And then the stretch never really got totally clear, was over and behind horses, only beaten 2 3/4 lengths. But another horse like Kitty's Son that's had plenty of chances.
Yeah, Kahutek is kind of an
Yes.
interesting horse to me. Coming off of dirt, sprints, he just might be. They just might send him today. Maybe Kitty's Son's going to get that trip. But that's also going to help, I think, Basic Miles, my pick too, if he can stay a little closer with the blinkers on.
I'd like to see Dad's Tap show some speed, though, stretching out from 4 furlongs at Timonium to a mile and a 16th, and a lot of worse places to be in front in these maiden claiming races. But another wide open race to close out the card. I kind of like where Dave's going a little bit here. Maybe I slept on the 7 Basic Miles. I'll go with the 2 Kitty's Son, 7-2-5-3 for Dave, 2-5-3-6 for me. Best play time of the day, Dave. Where are you going?
Oh, I'm going to the horse we just talked about there, Basic
Nice.
Miles, value play. 6-1, maybe we'll get that. I think so, right? In an open race.
In an
That's,
open race?
6-1 morning line. Race number 9 was 7.
Let's hit the late double then, because my play is going to be in race number 8. My best of the day is Hit the Road Jack. 3-1 on the morning line. I think that's a fair price, considering his overall body of work. I know he runs well fresh. 21 minutes to post for our opener at Laurel Park on Sunday. It's a beautiful day. The main track is fast. The turf is firm. Mackenzie Pfeiffer, Callie Francois, and Dave Rodman will take you through the afternoon's action. And Dave will be back in a moment with scratches and changes.
Good luck.